So next, we're going to welcome Marco de Rossi from Metamask. He's the AI lead. Thank you so much for joining, Marco. I really appreciate it. How are you?
Hi, thank you for the invitation. I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing great, doing great. It's a beautiful day here in Texas. So yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to join us today. So you're going to be giving a talk today about are we ready for the agentic economy or economies, plural. So very excited about that. And yeah, please, if you can, just go ahead and share your screen, and then I'll just step off stage and let you take it away.
Yes. Let me know if you see my screen and you can hear me correctly. So let's kick it off. And I really wanted to chat about what's the journey that will bring us to users and products. And especially for the work I'm doing with 8004 on agentic economies, I always and pretty often hear this question. So when are we getting the product market fit? And let's say the truth, this always seems a smart question, right? What's working with users? But something else that we have learned from business classes is that technology have adoption curves, usually divided in 5 phases. And I think it's very important to highlight that in terms of agents, we are really just at the beginning, literally. So you have innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, laggards. And while for something else, for example, stablecoins, we are, I think, about to see an early majority and then a late majority to leverage these technologies, and other technologies are more mature. For agents, we are really just at the beginning. And so, in a sense, asking where are agents at scale today is like asking in 1994 for the web where is TikTok. So it's very early. It doesn't make a lot of sense, frankly, to me. Also, I mean agents a lot personally, but every day I use very limited agents. I use like some robot agents. I use cursor agent a lot, but that's it. So the question is, in this phase of the market, of the technology evolution, what can agents do for us? And more importantly, what we should do. So if the question is not what's scaling, what we should do. So in the innovators phase, what really matters is first to make sure that the tech work. And this is not easy. We shouldn't take it for granted. The second, which is what I'm dedicating a lot of time to now, is building the infra and the tooling. The third, grow the builder base. So the real target of this phase are builders, are not final users, and that's totally fine. It has always been the case for any technology revolution that is so early. We just started probably 1.5 years ago with agents. Fund experimentation, and here, of course, venture capital and other kind of incentives play a major role. And then test with early adopters. This is the phase where usually the users are the other builders. And that's totally fine. It has always been the case for any technology. So we shouldn't be surprised if the agents that we are building are not yet used by 100 million people. So top question that we should ask, I think, is does it make sense and does it work? Because many of the things that we are building now, maybe they don't work yet or not as we would like. And what will drive the velocity of what we will discuss now in my talk today are these growth drivers. So the growth of what we just mentioned, number of builders, incentives, quality of infra and tooling, the model quality. So the evolution of LLMs has been the single, of course, most impactful factor of change in the last 18 months with agents. So if you think about how much I was mentioning cursor agent, for example, that didn't exist 1 year ago, how much using cursor has changed in the last 6 months completely. This really gives you a sense of how much that component can change what agents are useful and how we are useful and what they can do. Something more, something we are not discussing a lot actually, differently from models, we all discuss about models, is coordination among agents. So agents and models in general struggle to interact with other agents because this wasn't in their training data. So the data sets that we are using are not good in describing coordination, as in player A does something, player B does something, the outcome is something. And this doesn't help with economies. In economies, you need agents that are good in understanding when somebody else is lying, when somebody else is attacking, when it's a good thing to collaborate. So when we talk about agent economies, we should really keep in mind that in the next few years, I think game mechanism and game theory will become an important part of the frontier of AI intelligence. And we will start training and do post-training and do guardrails on this area, which is very close to AI security. Because let's say the truth, we will never have an economy if participants can be easily exploited. Why should you give $1 million to your agent if it's not secure? So this is an important component that will change a lot in the next couple of years. And finally, real world input and output. And we will discuss about this today, which is, so it's not necessarily like super advanced robots. It's embodied AI. It can also be very cheap sensor, but the point is an AI which can take input from the real world and maybe do something with, which is output. So how does the journey look like? In general, we are discussing about AI agents conducting discovery, negotiation, and settlement of service or products on behalf of other agents, people, and organization. That's the just to set the stage. We are in front of a phase one, I would say, that will really grow a lot pretty soon, 1 to 2 years, which is AI-mediated purchasing of services through conversational interfaces. So we are not yet talking about autonomous agents. We are talking about human intents expressed to software that, thanks to AI, decide what to do. And the AI here is not autonomous, but has an important role in deciding, for example, if we want to to buy some red sneakers, what's the provider, what's the company. So it has a very important role in deciding what we will buy, even if it's just an augmented interface. And we will discuss this, why it's important to have this layer open, otherwise we'll risk to concentrate all our purchases on a bunch of services and products. And what has just happened with OpenAI partnering with Stripe and Shopify, or of course what we are discussing also today with AP2, X402, and the community that with ERC-8004 is growing a lot, is a proof of that. So we'll see in the future, 1 year, more and more players enabling directly purchase of services and products by conversational interface. Slightly more ahead in time, I'm writing here 2 to 4 years. I'm usually optimistic, but I think that for AI, so for AI, you have seen social networks in the example at the beginning. Social network took like, so I think that MySpace was 2003. It took like 7 to 10 years to go like really massive globally. I think AI agents will take by far less, but 2 to 4 years, well, we probably need to wait that. Just to give you 3 strong use cases for autonomous agents that I think will be around in pretty soon, 2 to 3 years. Home restocking. So you don't need to express the intent. The AI just know what you used to eat and just make sure that you find what you are looking for in terms of grocery at home. End-to-end trip planning and booking. We are talking a lot about this now, but the reality is that the technology is not good enough. If you have tried, it's just not good enough. It doesn't work, but this will be fixed soon. And also everything related to robot finance. I think it's definitely will be definitely ready to become massive in the next 2 to 4 years. It's already performing pretty decently. And finally, what's happening already now of people asking to ChatGPT medical advice, which is also a bit scary, will grow in a more structured way, and we will have like proper data sets and proper context, and this will be really a thing short term. And so why AI gatekeepers are dangerous? So if this is the process, in the different steps, why they're dangerous? In terms of discovery, they're really dangerous because if you have like so my dream is to have a web of agents where I can reach out to any agent like it is on the web with an address. While if you have an app store of agent where there is a company deciding who you can reach out to and maybe take a 30% cut of that and maybe censor the competitors, this is really scary and can alter the how much markets are competitive and could also harm innovation. Trust, similarly, if we don't have ways to trust AIs, we risk to just trust them because they have a very famous brand and they're called with a couple of famous names. And the good thing here is that differently from humans, AIs are pretty good in aggregating very fast a lot of data. So I think that reputation can be triggered by AI just because AIs are perfectly suited to aggregate data in real time and make decisions. The communication layer and the payment layer that we are discussing a lot in this event today. And what's the situation? So with discovery and trust, it's an open problem if we want to make them in an open way. So for discovery, there are companies creating MCP catalogs. But the funny thing is that if you open your ChatGPT and or Claude now and you ask for free open MCPs, we're not able to find any. So in general, discovery and trust is an open problem in centralized spaces and completely open in open spaces, which is why we have created that 1004. Comms, I think we're pretty good with MCP and A2A, but I know we will discuss and have discussed today. And on payment, I'm very bullish on blockchain payments in general. So blockchain are by nature the payment layer for AIs, and that's why I'm super excited about what ERC-8004 is doing. That's why we created the ERC-8004, so to tackle these two problems on the left. And this is it's a protocol that we have launched in August as a draft, and we presented the version 1 at the beginning of October after having spent 6 very exciting weeks talking to, I would say, every builder in this space. It's co-authored with other very active builders in this space, and it does two things: enable a human or an agent to discover, so being aware of existence of agents, what they do, which are their skills, what's their price, and what's the endpoint to get in touch with them and buy services without going through any centralized intermediary. So this is the discovery problem. And second, it put the roots, because I think that this will evolve in time, of trust models. So how can you trust an AI that you have never met and you don't know maybe who created those AI? And we built some primitives here to try to solve the problem. And I will briefly go through like use cases. Again, as I've said at the beginning, I think the use cases will like evolve in the next years. So probably the most successful are not imaginable right now, exactly as in 1994. Nobody could have like described TikTok, but it's of course important to start digging that. The agents that we will use sooner and we're using sooner are the one in the area where models are already best at. So that's pretty straightforward. Everybody that is in marketing or content already create like all his content, blog posts, social medias with AI. That's totally fine. So the happy path is having, when this will become more and more autonomous, is having different options to do that with different reputation and based on past client feedback, and being able to hire your personal creative agent that can manage your maybe social media profile. If things could go wrong, we will have just one or two possible creator agents to hire, and all the social media timelines will be managed by the same agent. Same kind of mechanism for any low stake consumer service. So stuff where you are fine in losing your money, nothing, it's not a disaster. So if you spend $40 for a game and it's not great, even if it's customized for your taste, it's good. You just spend $30, right? And so reputation based on past client feedback, aggregated in real time by agent, could be interesting for use case like creator agent, gaming agent, planning agent, which is the example I was giving about booking your vacation, or also style agent. That's another example where you don't need like super advanced robots at home. A camera that can in your room like doing proper photos, and a screen to show you how that dress that is created on purpose for you would look like. This is, guys, is super cheap tech now. You don't need like super advanced stuff. The second is kind of trust model is related to stake security inference. Imagine that you have a network of validators that are staking money, re-executing your inference, your job, and validating it, approving or rejecting that. This is useful when you have money at stake. Imagine that you need to rebalance a portfolio every 24 hours and you want to make sure that the agent does the right stuff. And we want with 8004 to enable anybody to leverage this kind of potential. And Egelia, for example, is building hard and in this space also with 8004 and can make this happen. The third and last category of trust is great when you have confidential data or you want to audit the code. Just to give you some practical example, we were mentioning Dr. Agent, and the happy path is that we will have agents running in trusted execution environments, so chip that attest the output of what they're calculating, and publicly auditable source code that can maybe read our electronic health records. If things go badly, we will have just one centralized or a couple of centralized AIs that actually have all our data. So in a more general, again, setting, this happens at the same time you need auditability or multiple parties dealing with private data. So analyst agent, that's a very wide space. Imagine if you have worked in advertisement, there are like DMPs, data management platform. With agents and TEs, you can just put the data there. The TE does the computation and returns the output. And the company that has given the data, they aren't treating the data from a GDPR perspective, for example, and so they can definitely do that. So TEs really open a new set of space in terms of blending data from different sources in a legal way and keeping the data confidential. Personal twin, that's a space which is now pretty advanced already, and of course everything related to science. And finally, again, what the happy path is a web of agents where discovery and trust are open, and if things go wrong, we will land into this agents app store scene. Next step, so we just created the protocol and built the community, and now we're focusing our energy on dev tooling, because meaningful and successful ERC is an ERC nobody remembers of and people just use it. So we're focused on developer tooling. And next year we will need to extend stakeholders, because something I personally care about a lot is like involving the general AI space and institutions, and not just the intersection between Web3 and AI that is now very excited about all this. It's not enough. We need to be more ambitious. This needs to become, so the fact that open discovery for AI is important needs ideally to become a topic where people could like win elections. That's my citizens should care about this. And so soon we'll need to like make all these discussions easier to involve our friends around us, institutions, citizens, and the general public. If you want to get in touch, these are like my contacts: email, Signal, Twitter, X, whatever. And well, I'm here for questions, and thanks again for the invitation.
Thanks so much, Marco. That was amazing. I've been like following how 8004 has grown so much, and it's really interesting to hear your take on like why it's important. And this like idea of like identity for agents is like super valuable for the crypto angle. So cool. So let's see if we have any questions in the chat. I guess I can start with the question, like, what are you most excited for probably in the next like few years when it comes to like crypto and AI? I was talking to Kevin earlier, and I mentioned that I feel like X402 is like a huge unlock for like adoption. But yeah, I'm curious what you're like interested in, or what excites you about the future.
What's personally excites me most is the idea that we will have entire industries completely reshaped at a velocity that will surprise us. So if you think about insurance or all the like consultancy, for example, I think that like we don't know yet how much this will happen faster, and it will be amazing. And this is why it's exciting, because every time you have like an earthquake like that, you have new players coming up. And that's why what we're building with 8004, I would like to have like startups that take the budget of the BCG and McKinsey of this world. And so I'm just very excited about seeing like completely different builders that, thanks to AI, reshape industries that on paper are far from there. And and this is also a way to, in a sense, make Web3 mainstream. So what's happening with stablecoins and what will happen with agents and stablecoin will really trigger something that for who is like a very in love with Ethereum and blockchain for a lot of time was something we were waiting off. So I would say these two things.
Awesome. Great answer. How can people follow you online? What's the best contact for you?
Just Twitter, LinkedIn, my name and surname, and there is a very interesting Telegram community with 1,000 people that is building. Maybe we can share the group. That's a great place to stay in touch. If we can share the link in the chat, that would be great.
Awesome. Yeah, go ahead and drop it in. We also have the live stream on X that we can share it on as well. So perfect. Thank you so much, Marco. I appreciate your time and thanks for coming on. And yeah, look forward to seeing you around. Thank you. Yep. Great. Awesome. Well, that was a great talk. I hope you guys are enjoying this content. This has just been like amazing to throw together such like talented speakers. And there's just some really cool stuff. So I hope you guys enjoying it and following along.